This is Literature to Life Analysis. We're going to talk about Carry On, Mr. Bowditch by Jean Lee. First, we want to go over some characterization. We have Nat, who is our protagonist, and he has an indomitable spirit. And that means that he never gives up hope, even if he becomes an indentured servant. He also is a self-educator. When he lost the hope of going to Harvard, he didn't go, well, I guess I won't ever get an education. He found books, he studied Latin, and was constantly learning. Because of his personality here, he is respected by everyone, and I mean everyone. His siblings think he's the greatest. His coworkers are liking him. He's a breath of fresh air, a young man that has the spirit and likes to learn. Okay, so I want to go over a foil character now, and a foil character has similar circumstances to the protagonist or sometimes another character, but and if you compare and contrast these foil characters, you can really analyze things better and get a better picture of some of the themes from the characterization. So Ben Meeker is actually old guy, but when he was young, he also became an indentured servant. And he is also very smart, like Nat. But he became becalmed. And this is another one of those ship terms for when the wind dies down. And so your ship's not going anywhere. And so here we have an analogy to his life is becalmed. It's not going anywhere. He's lost all hope and all anchors, to keep up our analogies. And therefore, with this personality, he is not trusted or respected by anyone. Now, this is not just stated in the book, it's through indirect characterization, showing what these characters are like. And so why do I say he's not trusted? Because it never said that in the book. Well, because when Ben kind of starts wandering around with Nat and influencing him with Ben's bad attitude, Sam comes up and says, basically, get away from Nat. I do not want him around you. I don't trust you and don't respect you, and I don't want, Nat to become, I don't want him becalmed. Okay? Literary techniques. We've got some symbolization here. We have had two big deaths in this book. One was the guy, the sailor, who Nat had brought those expectations from, and see the play on words there. And so when he died, he tore up his expectation and put it on the water and made it kind of look like flowers, to honor the death. But it was the loss of that hope of, well, maybe I'll get money through this investment I made. His sister died. And so we have the note he had just written for her, and he tears it up and he scatters it on the water. And that's two lost hopes, two lost anchors, okay? So he lost his anchor. We talked about that with the father. Remember, the father lost his wife in the last time we talked. And then he went to the lee shore of drinking. So what's going to happen with Nat here? Nat's new anchor is studying. That very night, he works on his Latin all night long, okay? So we can contrast that to another one of our foil characters of father and, once again, go over the importance of choosing good anchors, okay? So then you have little Elizabeth comes in the morning and she brings him his first book in Latin, okay? And we've got what's called foreshadowing. She's showing herself that she will be a new anchor to replace the old Liza of his sister in his life. We have themes. Perseverance is huge in this chapter, and they use the term sailing by ash breeze, okay? There's no such thing as an ash breeze. That is getting out your wood, ash, oar, and paddling, okay? It's sailing by your own get up and go. Nothing is helping you, and you just keep going. And Nat is doing this, okay? The other thing was the interconnectedness of all of us, of all work, of all things. Nat's going around doing his chandlery business, and everywhere he goes, people are telling him, well, the most important thing on a ship are the ropes. And then he goes to the next place to gather supplies. Well, the most important thing on a ship. And he's starting to realize that each individual worker, part, knowledge is essential, okay, to make the whole work. I want you to talk a little bit with somebody, your book club, your parents, about handling deep grief. It's brought up in this book to help you kind of explore that, hopefully, before you're going through it yourself. And it's just a good way to prepare you for that death is part of life. And I want you to talk to somebody close to you about that. Okay? I want you also to talk to your family about the importance of family relationships and the importance of your siblings. It's a unique, lifelong relationship, and there's some understanding there and some camaraderie that you won't find in other relationships. So I want you to think and talk about it. For our thinking activity, I want you to take a piece of paper and make 3 simple columns. Label 1 consuming, 1 producing, and 1 learning to produce. Then simply think through all your weekly activities and place them in the appropriate column. Consuming would be things like going to the park, watching a movie, playing a video game, eating, going to the mall and buying things. You get the picture. Producing would be things like, let me think about some good ones for your age group. Helping a sibling with something, especially learning something, mowing the lawn, helping out around the house, if you have any sort of part-time job or babysitting, those sort of things, okay? Learning to produce. Right now, you are learning to produce. Any of your academics, anytime that you do some sort of self-study to learn a new craft or anything, that's learning to produce, okay? I want you to look at these columns after you're finished and see where is most of your life spent, okay? I don't think you were put on this earth to be a consumer primarily. I think it's to be a producer, okay? And I don't want you to go straight into this category, though. I was very upset when Nat became an indentured servant, which was producing, right? He works for that chandlery, because lifelong he would be able to be a better producer if instead he spent his young years really in this category of learning to produce. This is where probably at your stage of life most of your activities should be, is right here in preparation for this. And by all means, enjoy the good things of the earth as well. But, check your values there and realize that, this world, this big ship, this world needs you. You're essential, and we need you to be learning to produce and making this a better place.